What's up Multiverse, Dr. Dave here, welcome to the Geek Lounge. So MCM Coming Con Birmingham kicks off a week today, taking place December 1st, 2nd and 3rd from the NEC in Birmingham, and we are going to preview it in today's video. If you haven't got tickets yet, you'll want to grab them soon as they are selling out. At time of this video, Saturday is completely sold out, but you can still attend on the Saturday if you buy the 3-day weekend ticket at £60, which gives you priority entry all 3 days. Both Friday and Sunday priority and general entry tickets do still remain in limited quantity. Priority basically gets you on the show floor 2 hours earlier. There are the opening times for you guys for each day, and families do remember that kids under 10 go free. On to the guest list then, and it's not as big as MCM London, but the Birmingham show has always been smaller. In fact, just before we get into it guys, I did want to say, don't get upset, don't post snarky comments on social media when guests who are attending don't interest you. I always see it around cons, particularly MCM. I don't know these guests, who are these guests? I mean, I saw a comment recently saying, I'm so surprised this con is sold out because you literally have no guests. I mean, there are tons of guests and a lot of them are legends in their field. Just because they don't interest you, just because you don't belong to their fandom, doesn't mean that others don't. I mean, the con is nearly sold out after all. Anywho, who do we have then? Well, first up, we've got Aaron Zek, Barbara Dunkelman, Cara Ebel, and Lindsay Jones. I really hope I didn't butcher any of their names. They are the 4 main characters from the animated series RWBY. At least I think that is how you pronounce the show. Personally, I've never watched it. I know it's been running around 10 years now and is fairly popular, but I think really cool they've all been brought in together. This is something MCM does pretty well with a lot of fandoms. You can pre-book the single photo ops for each actress at £53. The group photo with all of them is £159, but for some reason you can only pre-book Lindsay's autos, which are £32. Maybe they're anticipating her having more, I'm not entirely sure, but I would venture the others are of the same price, which you can purchase at the table on the day. And I did just want to say, most of the times I've attended MCM Comic Con, it's always been cash at the tables guys, so make sure you do bring cash. I don't know if the NEC has ATMs aplenty, and if they do, they're probably going to be pretty busy. From Overwatch, we've got actors Boris Hishtan and Cara Theobald. Again, I really hope I haven't butchered their names. I've never actually played Overwatch, but again, I know it's a pretty popular game. No pre-booking info on either autos or photo ops for them though, so I'm not 100% sure what their schedules or pricing will be like. Best to check on the day. 2 absolute VO legends will be in attendance. We've got David Hayter and Jennifer Hale, with their main theme for the event being around Metal Gear Solid. Obviously David, the longtime voice of Solid Snake, and Jennifer Hale, I mean, what hasn't she been in? Metal Gear, Baldur's Gate, Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, I could go on and on. In fact, in 2013, she was recognised by Guinness World Records as the most prolific video game voice actress. Their team-up photo op is £96, and individually they are £53 for photo ops and £51 for autographs. And I mentioned Mass Effect there. Jennifer Hale, of course, the voice of the female Commander Shepard in the Legendary Trilogy, amongst some of my favourite games of all time, especially number 2. She is actually joined by Ali Hillis as a late guest announcement. She of course voiced Dr. Liara T'Soni in the game. She was also Lightning in Final Fantasy XIII and voiced Karine in Naruto for all my fellow Naruto fans. But oddly enough, there is no information on pricing on her autos and photo ops, despite her being announced a week ago. I would surely have thought there would be a dual op with the 2 of them for sure, but I guess pricing and purchasing will be done on the day. We've then got some Genshin Impact with a bit of Demon Slayer crossover too guys, as Erika Harlacher-Stone, Griffin Burns and Sarah Miller-Cruz are all in attendance. They have a Genshin team-up photo op available with another guest who we'll get to shortly for £140. Sarah Miller-Cruz individual photo ops are £41 and her autos available at £32. Erika and Griffin's individual photo ops are £53 and their autos are £38. I'm really looking forward to meet these two. I absolutely love Demon Slayer, so to be able to add Tokito and Shinobi to the signed Funko collection will be awesome. Plus I'm also seeing Erika for Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter and Anne Takamaki from Persona 5. She was also just announced yesterday for Liverpool Comic Con in May next year. The other guest featuring as part of that Genshin photo ops guys is well-known VA Sean Chiplock, and he is joined by Patricia Somerset as part of a Zelda team up. Patricia of course the English voice of Princess Zelda since Breath of the Wild. The dual photo op with these two is £90. Sean's individual photo op is £47 and Patricia's is £53. No pre-bookings available for their autos though, so these will just be buy at the table on the day. I'm going to guess similar pricing to Erika and Griffin at £38, but let's see. And one other thing I wanted to say before we crack on with the guest list guys is that we have noticed over the last few years that voice actors have been charging for quotes. Not all of them, but some of them do. Typically it's around £10 to £20 to get an additional quote added to your Funko Pop figure, art print, whatever it is you are getting signed. So if you have pre-booked something, make sure to bring cash along with you so you can upgrade at the table. As I said, I don't know how many ATMs there are at the NEC. Finally then guys, we have Roger Clark, most famous for voicing Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, one of my favourite games of all time, unbelievable character and performance. I'm just so gutted they've never made Funkos of RDR2, as those are typically the only things I get signed, but let's see, maybe I'll get a print or something. His autos are £38 and his photo ops are £53, but he does also have a team up photo op for Fort Solus with the legendary Troy Baker. I met Troy in London last year, super cool guy, and we'll be meeting him again to get my Joel Funko Pop from The Last of Us sign. He's also voiced so many characters previously in anime and then video games. Similar to Jennifer Hale, as I said, he is a legend. That team up photo op will cost you £103, his individual photo op is £60, and for an auto it'll be £51. And those are the main guests who will be doing signings and photo ops, but there will of course be tons of other guests from the likes of comics, gaming, the cosplay community, influencers, Pop Asia, and even wrestling. Yes, you heard that right, wrestling, as Elite Wrestling Entertainment will be present with 3 shows each day, probably 1 to 2 matches within the time slot, of which you can find the schedule on the main website or the app, which by the way is very useful and easy to use. I mentioned cosplay before guys, I always feel MCM brings the heat when it comes to cosplayers, and it'll be no different this year with the usual Cosplay Central, which will have a bunch of panels, showcases, advice, and of course an MCM champion will also be crowned on the Saturday, where the winner will be given a cash prize and trip to Chicago to compete in the finals of the Cosplay Central Crown Championships at C2E2 in Chicago in April 2024, so you can bet there is going to be some amazing cosplay on display. And I almost forgot to mention the panels. All the aforementioned guests do have panels where they'll no doubt talk about their careers amongst other things, and there are just a ton of panels in general throughout the weekend on a number of different topics within a number of different fandoms, and you can find the full schedule on the website. Pop Asia is always hugely popular at any MCM and will be so again in Birmingham with live music, performances, manga and origami workshops, and of course, amazingly tasty food. Tasty! There are fan meets galore. Again, you can find schedules for all the fan meets taking place, the where and the when on the website, meeting people from your favourite fandoms, and no doubt getting some awesome photos too if you're coming cosplay. Speaking of cosplay and just general awesomeness, we can't forget about the community groups, either the likes of the 501st Legion UK Garrison, Dyson Destiny, Droid Builders UK. I mean, again, you guys can see on the website all those groups who are in attendance, once again there to give you great photo ops and discuss the fandoms with fellow nerds. SideQuest returns, the gaming area featuring the multiplayer lounge with multiple consoles set up with various different games, the retro zone for some nostalgia, and the gaming bus featuring some of the latest titles to test out. There is then of course the card corner where Dyson Destiny hosts games for Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece and more. The tabletop library by Imagination Gaming will feature a bunch of tabletop games to try out. Of course D&D, the godfather of tabletop games, will also be present, including beginner courses, and there is also a life-size tabletop experience, I imagine similar to what it was in London last month. The Treehouse is where parents can take a little rest within the family lounge to recharge, but there is also face painting, crafting, and programs of family-friendly interactive sessions available to take away from all the hustle and bustle on the main floor. And as we are so close to Christmas, the kids can also meet Santa and the elves, some of the crafting will be Christmas themed, and there will also be a festive cosplay showcase too. And last but certainly not least guys are the exhibitors, which make up most of the floor space at the con. There are always awesome exhibitors at MCM, whether you're looking for apparel, anime, manga, art prints, cosplay props, trading cards, video games, figures, or like me you like to hunt for Funko Pops, you'll find stores selling all of that and more. In fact, 3 of my favourite Funko Pop stores at any con guys are Cult Collectibles, Persona Toys and Tanks Pop Shop. I'm positive all 3 are in Birmingham. Head over, mention you saw them on Geek Lounge, and who knows, maybe they might give you a discount on any purchases you make. Maybe. And I am so looking forward to the con guys. This will actually be the first ever MCM Birmingham I am attending. I've been to the London show plenty of times. I've been to other cons in Birmingham at the NEC as well, but yeah, first ever MCM Birmingham. So really looking forward to it, but I am only attending on the Friday. I'm actually getting my train that evening up to Manchester because I will also be attending for the Love of Sci-Fi that weekend. We'll actually be previewing that con in Sunday's video. But as I said, really looking forward to it. Hope to see some of you guys there. Please do come and say hi if you do recognize me. Otherwise guys, thanks for watching today's video and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out, nerds!